suspects are donor contributors. Would it be fair to say that according to this statement, the DNA profile on that particular bedsheet recovered from Katanga, the hospital, was relation?
Yes, that is the hypothesis we tested. That's what was supplied that night.
So would it be correct to say that when we look at these alleles, that the hypothesis, the results from this analysis, I was just reading for him what the report says. In this regard, it is more than 1 billion times likely that the major contributor is Katanga and one untested individual from the Ugandan population. Yes. So, Katanga is. Yes, continues. Would I be right to suggest that you first determine if it's a mixed profile?
Yes, you determine it's a mixed profile. Looking, that's a visual inspection.
Would I then be right to say you then determine, so you first determine if it was a mixed profile?
Yes.
Determine how many people contributed to the profile?
We do a visual assessment of the possible number of contributors.
Okay. Then you do a visual assessment, my lord, is what you said. So you are looking at the number of alleles.
Yeah, you can look at the number of alleles and say this should be so many contributors.
And that means that there should be at least 4 alleles for you to.
Yes, from a visual inspection, you say there are 4 alleles, 2 people, more than 3, then you can say more than.
Okay, can we now go to the color table? There should be 4 alleles. Yes, my lord. That is because you get one from your father and one from your mother. 45 or 48, although they attached a color copy there. Now, this is sample. This is page 45, the color table, Annex 2 of Exhibit 6.
What is the technical? What is this?
It's a color table.
Color table of what?
It's Annex 2 to the DNA report. Annex Roman numeral 2. Annex 2, but Annex Roman numeral 2. That's the heading of the document. Annex 2.
Yes.
So do you, Mr. Mobiro, you have this?
Yes, ma'am.
Now I want you to go to the marker D16. Yes, sorry. D1S 1656.
Yes, my lord.
D1S is the third last one. There's this 1, 2, then the third last one. Am I right?
Yes, my lord.
My lord, that's at the top here. So you have D1S1656. I don't know if you.
D1.
It's one of the last ones, my lord. So if you go to the end of that, it is the third last. It's the third from the end. S1,
161.
S1656.
Yes. S1656. Yes.
And then we are going to sample 007.
Where's that one?
That is on the sample ID. It is the seventh one. 682Y23007. It is highlighted in a, I'm not sure the name of this color. Is it brown? Maroon? Or D682Y23007. It's the seventh number.
I thought you said U1S.
D1.
At the first chromosome in from 1656 was specimen 68007. You have labels 12, 13, 15, 16.3, and 17.3.
So read those alleles again. You have 15.
16.3,
Let's go. You have alleles 12,
13,
13, 15, 16.3, and 17.3. Is that correct?
yes, that's correct.
Can you confirm those are 5 numbers?
There are 5 members.
Would I be correct to say that makes it a 3-person mixture?
You can look at it and you propose that this is at least 3 persons.
So my lord, that is at D. There's 17, there's 16.3 and 17.3.
Okay.
So those are 5 numbers: 12, 13.
13, 15, 16.3, and 17.3.
Would I be right to say that that is therefore a 3-person mixture as opposed to a 2-person mixture?
That is from a qualitative perspective.
So the answer is that from a qualitative perspective,
That is at least 3
that
persons.
is an at least 3-person mixture. I want us to go to the electropherogram. That is the documents that were given yesterday, which is it D5?
Yes, page. Is it number?
It's page 20, my lord. So that's from page 21, page 19 and page 20. Would I be correct?
Yeah. Yes.
That's page 19.
So, page.
Yes. Exhibit D5.
This is the
Electropherograms. Yes, now you can go to page 20. On the first row of page 20, the box D1S. My lord, it's the second one on page 20.
view 1.
B1S16. The confirmed those are 5. They're the same 5 numbers.
Yes, madam.
Council Katanga yagira shuka ebibashangira harimo Katanga eyibahire exhibit number M6
So the numbers, what are these numbers?
ya
It's great.
ugaragara tureka gihamya ya hamure y'umutungo.
There are 5 alleles,
That is the
12, 13,
yes.
15. So would I be right to say
From a qualitative perspective, my lord, one can infer
From a qualitative
perspective, one can infer that this is at least the person mixture.
at least you see.
so? Would I be fair to say that this electrophoregram be at least 50%?
Pardon? Can you infer that?
Would I be correct to infer that the electrophoregram in this case is not edited?
Pardon?
Would I be correct to infer that in this particular scenario, the electrophoregram was not edited?
No, all electrophoregrams are reviewed by me.
So it was edited or not edited?
I review all electrophoregrams.
Did you remove anything from this?
Yes, we have PCR artifacts. I mentioned my lord yesterday. We review electrophoregrams.
Did you remove anything from this?
Yes,
So this was also edited?
we have our PCR artifacts.
What is this called?
This is called an electrophoregram.
Yes. Specifically here.
My question was, is it edited?
We review the electrophoregrams.
Okay, it was a review.
And does reviewing include editing?
It includes redacting artifacts from the electrophoregrams.
It includes changing the document, altering the document
No,
from its original state.
you review and redact, you don't change.
Okay, so this electrophoregram and all electrophoregrams in this case,
Redacted.
we reviewed and redacted. So this electrophoregram and all electrophoregrams in this case were redacted.
All electrophoregrams are reviewed by the examiner and analyst and reviewer, and they appear to be the ones that are relied upon for the final opinion by the analyst.
So my question was, are all electrophoregrams in this case reviewed and redacted?
Yes, my lord.
Now I want you to go the same page, the same electrophoregram, and look at the next line, which starts penta D. There's something called TH, I don't know if that's 0 or 1, I don't know.
You are looking at number?
TH01.
I'm looking at the same page, my lord, which is page 20, and I'm looking at the next line. I'm looking at the allele TH01. My lord, you have center, and then you have that next one. On that, it is the last, I don't know what it's called, a box, on that. It's there.
Okay.
There's penta D, and then just after penta D, there's TH01. Can you see that?
Yes, my lord.
On the electrophoregram, my lord.
Yeah, I was.
You can see it.
These are too small.
So, Mr. Mubiro, my lord, Mr. Mubiro, can you just confirm the alleles which are there? What alleles are at that location?
I see a 6. I see a 6. I see a 9, 12, 8, and 9.
So, let's just record them.
How many are you?
5 alleles. Am I correct to say there are 5?
689.
The 6, yes.
6, 8, 9, 9.3, and 12.
Would I be correct to say those 5 values on the face of it and telling us that this is a
Qualitative perspective.
Can we go back to the table at page 45, the color page?
Oh, yes, my lord.
I know it is the fact, it is the 10th, I think, from the end, or yeah, it's the 10th from the end.
From there.
Yes. Right here, TH01. It is, if you start from the last number and you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. There is TH01.
Yes.
Someone really have it?
Yes, ma'am.
So we can then go and look for number 7 in this. TH01. Can you read for us the fields?
We have 6, 8, 6, 8, 9, and 12.
6, 8, 9, and 12.
Can you confirm those are 4?
Those are 4, my lord.
Can you confirm in this table you deleted 9.3?
The 9.3 was not described in the table.
Can you confirm you deleted 9.3?
It was transcribed in the table.
It was transcribed in the
It
table.
was not transcribed into the table. The transcription is done into the table manually.
So it was left out.
It's left out.
You can confirm the 9.3 was left out. So you can confirm when I look at this table, it looks like a 2-person mixture.
At least 2 persons. Or at that location.
And yet,
From the qualitative perspective.
when I look at the at that location, it is a 3-person mixture.
Qualitatively, from a qualitative perspective, you can use that at least 3 persons from the program.
So in the transcribing to this table, is it an error or a fraud?
The transcription in the table is done manually
What is it? What is it at transcript?
because somebody has to manually copy the allele codes into the table.
So would I be correct to say that the failure to include 9.3 would simply have been a mistake?
I will have to review the quantitative data.
Is it yes or no? Could it have been a mistake?
Yes, it could have been a mistake, but at the same time, it's possible.
So it could also, you can confirm that it could also have been left out fraudulently.
No.
final question on that particular point. Will you agree with S sample 6H2Y2S007 bed sheet recovered? This is this very sample we're talking about.
This is
6H2Y S007.
exhibit what?
It is exhibit M6. M6, which is a bed sheet recovered from Katanga, is a 3-person mixture.
Katanga ekeyine eshagama y'abantu bashatu eshagama y'omuntu omwe ng'obu yakitire mu rumore Katanga y'okwenga.
Yes, continue, sir.
My lord, from the analysis we undertook, the DNA profile from specimen 682Y23S002 was deemed to be a mixed DNA profile of at least 2 donor contributors.
And that contradicts the evidence.
No, it doesn't.
It contradicts the electrocardiogram.
No, it doesn't.
Okay?
Did you talk about the
I say, from the analysis we undertook, both quantitative and quantitative, the mixed DNA profile of at least 2 donor contributors was obtained from specimen 682Y23S007.
And you can confirm that it has more than 4 alleles.
Yes, it has more than 4 alleles, but it was from at least 2 donor contributors.
So there could be 3.
From at least 2 donor contributors.
Could they be 3?
At least 2 donor contributors.
You testified that
so which is which?
6 alleles are at least 3 donor contributors.
That is from a qualitative perspective. The analysis we did is positive.
And we don't have this before us.
We do have the quantitative analysis.
We don't have one of those analyses before us.
You have the quantitative analysis for specimen 007.
We have the qualitative.
Yes, it's in the table. You have just done the qualitative analysis yourself.
And we have seen 3.
You have done the qualitative analysis, you also have the quantitative analysis.
You testified that in that table, the failure to include 9.3 could have been an error.
That is a matter for review, but we upload the information into a quantitative analysis tool. And our opinion is that the DNA profile, mixed DNA profile from specimen 682Y23S007 is of at least 2 donor contributors.
And you can confirm, you testified that it could have been an error. Let's stick to the questions you're being asked. Answer, just answer what you're being asked. You testified that the failure to include 9.3 could have been an error.
No, that's one location. The profile has
There are 2 locations.
yeah, but the whole profile of that specimen has 25 locations.
The last question on that point would be, can you confirm that there are a number of other samples that have those errors?
Is it so?
I have not seen any, but the 9.3 was not transcribed into
So would
the
it be
table.
correct to say you're not sure?
9.4 was not transcribed into the table.
Are there other errors?
Yes.
Are you saying that?
He's saying it's not sure. Would that be correct somewhere?
Are you sure or not?
My lord, we have only identified 9.3, which was not transcribed into the table. I look at this report, I review it. The table is done manually to transcribe data from an electroprogram into the table.
So there could be errors. There could be other errors.
But we don't rely on the table for our final opinion.
My question is, could there be errors on the table?
I don't know.
Huh? You said you were sure.
Mr. Mumiru, you would agree with me that one of the big risks in DNA testing is contamination in the lab.
My lord, our terminology is pollution as opposed to contamination.
So one of the big risks. Is that so?
Yes, we have got pollution risks.
Okay, thank
And
you. Thank you.
So it is pollution.
We're on the lab.
happen across the entire
Okay.
country.
We'll just say,
So,
in the lab, it can be the lab, it can be elsewhere. You see, it's different in the lab.
yes, but I don't think we can also report that it can also happen across the entire value chain. So, can
Pollution
pollution,
uses what?
yes,
What did you add?
Pollution is a terminology within the value chain of exhibit management that has to be mitigated by using personal protective equipment.
no.
We are just talking about the risk.
Pollution is a risk that, would I be correct? Risk that can happen throughout the entire management of an exhibit.
Yes.
Would I be correct to say that in order to prevent using polluted machinery, you conduct controls within the laboratory?
Yes, my lord, we run both positive and negative controls.
Just and if I go to page 16 of your report, of the main report, my lord, which is the report, 16 of 48. Page 16 of 48. Paragraph 3
Yes.
reads that in parallel, positive and negative controls were performed, which gave the expected and correct results.
Yes, my lord, that's the wording in the report.
Would I be correct to suggest that these controls are intended to establish.
That's not true.
It is not true that the controls are intended to establish the reliability of the results.
The controls are there to ascertain that the assay performed as
The controls are there to ascertain,
Not include.
not to ascertain the reliability of the results, that the assay performed as expected. That's what he has said.
Very good.
ASSAY. Am I correct?
yes, my lord. Thank you, Council.
As
Expected.
expected. So, to suggest that that means that the chemicals, the equipment, and the procedure.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Would I be right to suggest that if you find any problem in the way they are working, that is an event of contamination or an event of pollution?
No, it only means that
Pollution.
if there is pollution, pollution is determined through an elimination database.
But if it doesn't work as expected, then would that cause an event that needs to be investigated and documented?
Yes, we
Doesn't work as expected, that would cause an event that needs to be investigated and documented. That would be an event that would require, that would have to be investigated and documented.
Next.
We can confirm that we did ask you for any records of contamination events, and you declined to provide them on the grounds of national security.
No, my lord, we cannot provide that information.
I'm just saying you did provide. We asked and you did provide.
My lord, we cannot provide that information.
So, would I be right to suggest that there's no evidence before this court that in fact there were no events of pollution in your lab?
My lord, we run all profiles through an elimination database which caters for pollution events.
Which you haven't provided.
And none of the elimination
Which you
profiles
haven't
have turned up in the
provided. Let's
analysis.
confirm. Answer my question. You haven't provided.
We cannot provide
So there's no evidence before this
Contamination
court.
You cannot provide the contamination what?
events.
So there's no evidence before this court that there was no
As
contamination.
for pollution, we have a pollution database.
Events. You see that?
So for those events, we have an elimination database.
Can you provide that information to this court? Is that correct?
I request that you re-ask the questions which were asked the last time I was in court.
And can you confirm that you declined to provide it?
My lord, we cannot provide.
Thank you. And
No,
therefore,
no, we don't have that.
and therefore there is no evidence before this court that there was no event of contamination.
Is that okay? Is there or not?
Evidence of no contamination?
There is no evidence before this court that there was no contamination.
No, my lord, the explanation we have is
No, I
that...
don't have the explanation. I've asked you, is there evidence before this court that there was no contamination?
Yes, we can provide that information to court.
Is it there now?
It's not there now, but
Thank
we
you.
can provide that information.
Why don't you provide it? You ask.
No, you refused. We asked him, he refused.
My lord, the elimination
No, I'm
database has
continuing.
got profiles of policemen.
I'm continuing. I'm
Okay,
continuing.
okay. You could.
Now confirm, or would I be right to suggest that a negative test checks for contamination or pollution? Is that
But hari n'ibintu bibasha bire ubwo mshisho yena aho bushozi bagira ngo turakwasa kugereza abo bana
Like open it.
another few more? No, today not sure. I just have a few topics. I'm about to wind this topic up and go to another one. But now, would I be right to suggest that in a negative test, no sample, no DNA sample is added?
It's called an anti-break control.
Yes, so the only thing that happens is you use chemicals.
This is called a reagent blank.
Okay, so that's why we're trying to break it down in simple understanding. So in a negative test,
Where do you use technology? You guys say, what is the aim of technology?
No,
He's asking me that way.
Yes.
Ask him again.
yes, my question is, in a negative test, you are basically testing nothing.
DNA that has...
In a negative test,
Testing nothing. Is that correct?
basically,
So, does that mean you do not add any DNA to the sample?
There is no template added.
yeah, we told you this, but it is you. What is the template?
It says
There is no template. There is no
The
DNA.
template.
there is no DNA added.
Template.
So there's no, would I be correct to say that by no template you mean there is no DNA added?
Yes, that's the template.
So there's no DNA added. So you just run your machines and your chemicals.
That's it.
For DNA.
But there's no
There's no DNA. So in my layman's understanding, it means that if you sample, you should not have any result.
That is the ideal situation, but you are using plastics, you are using consumables, you are using swabs, you don't have any template.
So if you had running that,
Here they should get none.
the result.
Here they should get none. But then,
And if you get something, then it likely means your machines are dirty and there has been an event of pollution.
my lord, we worked, yesterday council pointed out the issue of
No, just answer the question. If you get a DNA result when you have not run a DNA sample,
my lord, if you get an allele call above the threshold, then you can.
Then you consider it.
an event of contamination, an event of pollution. So when you run control, it means there should be nothing. Must equal 0. If 0 equals
That is not true.
if you run, there should be, you shouldn't get results.
If you do
With the negative control, you're seeing that there are no results of DNA here because there's no DNA that has been tested.
negative.
My lord, when you run a negative control, you should not get any alcohol above the threshold.
You're the one who sets the threshold.
The threshold is set at validation.
And we have no validation before us.
Validation.
You should not get it.
And you shouldn't get an illegal code.
Above the threshold. Above the threshold.
You shouldn't, in short, you shouldn't get, and you shouldn't find any DNA.
Not it.
So should you find DNA when you've not tested for
You
DNA?
should not get an alcohol above the threshold.
So my question is, should you find DNA when you've not tested for DNA?
If you get an alcohol above the threshold, that would be an evolution event which has to be
Now
investigated.
let's answer the questions we're being asked. If you don't put any DNA in the sample, should you find any DNA?
No, my lord, that is a fallacy of the council, but the reality is that we use plastics.
So the plastics have human DNA.
These plastics are made globally.
They may have someone's DNA on them.
That's why we set
So that's a
threshold.
contamination event.
No, the reason why we do the validation is to set the threshold so that we know where the threshold lies.
So I want you to look at page 52 of the electrophotographs.
Let me have a look at your
Page 52.
Let me have a look at
Do you have your electrophotographs?
I want to look at yours.
So go to the negative control
Yes,
for the first batch of samples.
Okay.
So that's page 52,
No.
which is the negative control for the first batch of samples. Just give me a minute. Now, would I be correct to say, oh my lord, that is the electrophotogram?
Yes.
Yes, page 52 I believe.
Yes.
It has sample name and below that there's NA,
That's negative control.
that's negative control. So the G is cancelled by the line.
Yeah, correct.
So it should be NEGCTRL.
Yes.
That would be negative control.
Yes, my lord.
Where is it?
Just at the top, after sample name, you then have and the sample name is what looked like NEO, but it's confirmed that it's NEG. It looks like an O, but the line
What about the next
CTRL.
C?
That
Yes,
is negative control. Just shorten it.
negative control. Just confirm that the thing is full of DNA.
My lord, this negative control performed as expected. There's
Just-
no
just-
alcohol
just-
above
just
the
go.
threshold.
What is this?
My lord, this is
The
this
name is
is
what?
negative control.
What is the name of this?
Negative control. He has not tested anything. He has just run the machine. He has put chemicals. He has run the machine. There is no sample.
This is G. Then control.
So he's testing air.
Yeah, we are looking at that.
Yes.
What is it saying?
I've told you to confirm that his air is full of DNA. Everyone who looks at it can see peaks all over the place. Just confirm.
Then, no, my lord, the negative control.
No, my question is,
Is this a
this is a negative control.
Yes, it's a negative control.
And can you confirm you did not test any DNA for this sample?
The negative control has no template DNA.
Okay. And can you confirm that at
So it's not tested DNA.
There is no template DNA.
No template DNA.
or no DNA at all?
There is no template DNA.
It's contaminated DNA.
So you go to back.
So my question is, since there is no DNA, can you confirm that we on site here we can see peaks at literally every box?
My lord,
Just confirm what we can see with our eyes.
those are background peaks which are not cold, so they are
Yes,
below the
the
threshold.
machine is dirty. Are there peaks or no peaks? Look at this. You've tested.
That is background noise, and background noise has peaks.
So there are peaks.
From background noise.
Yeah, of course the background noise is contamination.
That's why we have a threshold. Yes.
Yes. Background noise. So you confirm that there are peaks in your negative control.
There is background noise in the negative.
No, the peaks is
And those peaks are what you term as alleles in a
are called by the system.
alleles are peaks.
There are peaks which
Thank you,
beyond the
just
threshold.
stop there.
peaks.
Are peaks that are
Alleles are
above
peaks.
the threshold of 300 RFUs.
Alleles are peaks.
Above the threshold of 300 RFUs.
No. Alleles are, you've not given us documents for those thresholds. We asked for them. So you can't start giving information in this.
My lord,
code.
that's why you see there are no numbers for those peaks.
No, it's edited, we know that. But it has peaks.
My lord,
Just confirm, all I want you to confirm is it has peaks and alleles are peaks.
my lord, the negative control performed as expected. What you see is background
They
noise
expected it to be
below the
contaminated.
threshold.
Okay.
There is also DNA
But I'll
there.
remove, I'll remove.
That is his explanation.
Yes, I'll remove. So you can just confirm that there are peaks in the negative control and the threshold you're talking about, you refuse to provide this code with.
I have told what the threshold.
You're making things up from there. Okay, let us move. Are you conversant with the term ladder in DNA testing?
Standard ladder.
So are you ladder like it? Oh my God.
My lord, analytic ladder is a analytic ladder.
Spelling A.
Are you conversant with the term ladder in DNA testing?
We call it analytic ladder.
So it's called an allelic ladder.
Spelling
Allelic.
Yeah, analytic. So you are talking about analytic. Okay, what is that?
Does that act as one form of quality control to ensure your process is working correctly?
The analytic ladder is run alongside the samples.
You can help me with answering my question, sir. Does it work as one form of quality control to ensure your process is working correctly?
No, my lord, the analytic ladder is a specimen that contains all alleles in the visit population. It's just like any other sample.
It is a specimen that contains all alleles,
Yes.
which are
In the population,
In the visit population.
invisible.
in the envisaged population, that being the Republic of Uganda.
No, they are provided by the manufacturer.
Oh. The Catholic. So, would I be right to suggest that the ladder has all the common pieces of DNA?
Yes, they are the common pieces of DNA as
Thank you.
determined by the manufacturer.
And
Yes.
would I be correct, sir, those common pieces of DNA are included in each of the samples so that they are given their correct designation?
No, you don't put an analytic ladder in each of the samples, otherwise you have no data to interpret. As I say, it's a separate sample which has all the alleles in the visit population.
No, my first, okay, so you don't put it in that. Would I be right to
You don't
suggest
put what?
you don't put the ladder in the sample?
Yeah. Is that okay?
Yes, that's okay.
Would I be right to suggest that a ladder has a specific predictable pattern?
The pattern of the analytic ladder, which has all the alleles of the population, are determined by the manufacturer and available in the manufacturer's manual.
So now that's a very good answer to another question. So let's try and answer my question. Would I be right to suggest that the ladders have a specific predictable pattern?
Those are the sizes that we used to call the alleles.
And is it equal to that or not?
So the allelic ladder corresponds,
Speak.
the allelic ladder,
Pattern.
Pattern. That's so.
yes,
Yeah, where you can answer directly, please.
it's my lord.
So you are saying that the allelic ladder has got various peaks to it, correct?
Yes, many peaks to it.
So at each sample you just see the peaks.
Write the number there.
And would I be correct to say that if I see the ladder in a sample, that is a clear case of pollution and contamination in the lab?
No, that's not true.
If I see a ladder mixed with the alleles,
That's not true.
that is a perfectly working sample.
There is a sample which is a allelic ladder and it follows a particular pattern.
So if you mix the ladder with a sample, will that be a contamination event?
That would be a cross-contamination event, and then
That
that
would be a cross-contamination event. You mix the ladder with a sample, that would be a cross-contamination event.
You know, we should have, not only for this purpose, but the science, as it applies everywhere. Because we are not only handling, yes, there will be so many other things. But if you state something, it should be for general purpose, not science.
Yes, my lord.
Much obliged. So if I take, for example, if I go to say the first sample, which is 001, yeah? Just you open page 7 of the alleles. Yeah, this is the sample for Henry Katanga.
The alleles.
Of the electrophoreograph, sorry. Page 7 of this document, it was D5.
That is the sample,
That's the first allele, the sample of Henry Katanga.
marked as
6H2Y23S001,
this is this,
which is exhibit, is it D3?
this is
Different.
D5.
the frame. Marked as you say,
The 6H2Y23 S001.
okay. So yeah, I think we should do that.
So it's just a simple demonstration. An ordinary electrophoregram looks like this, correct?
That is a single source electrophoregram.
It's an ordinary single source electrophoregram.
It is a single source profile electrophoregram.
And this is how it looks.
That is a typical one.
The
Single source profile. Profile. Did you say profile?
Yes, single source profile electrophoregram.
you say it is a typical one.
Yes. Now, the ladder would have a lot of information across the entire.
My lord, the ladder would have all the alleles in the visible population. All the alleles.
Let's keep answering my questions. You're giving good answers for other questions. Please stick to mine.
Has all the alleles of the visible population.
So in this case, you just have specific alleles. But would the ladder have a lot of information across the boxes?
It would have all alleles in the visible population.
So the answer to my question is yes.
It would have all alleles in the visible population.
Okay. So it's clear that for this profile, there is no ladder contamination. There is no
I don't see-
cross-contamination.
I do not see all alleles of the MZ population in that profile, so it's not a cross-contamination with the allele bladder.
Okay, thank you. Now can you turn with us to page 50?
That's my number.
Page 50, the sample number is 6H2Y23S023, which is the cartridge casing. Page 50 of exhibit D5.
Yep.
What's the cartridge casing, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And it's exhibit I think the sample number is 682Y23S007, and I believe it was exhibit 5-1, was it, or 7? I'm not just okay, S023.
Yes.
This is 6H2Y23S023 at page 50 of the electroparagraph. Information on all the alleles.
My lord, that profile does not have all the alleles in the MZ population.
No. Start from Y indel. You see Y indel?
Yes, Y indel has
Just hold on. Do you see data?
Yes, it starts from things which are below the threshold, the others above the threshold.
Below above is your threshold.
The threshold is 300 and
We
it's
don't use-
deduce it from the electrophoreograph.
No, we can't deduce. We're asking for things and you refuse to give us. That's the point. So just answer our
So
question.
I am informing.
My question is simple. On this allele,
Yes.
can I see a lot of information?
On particular.
Just answer my question. On this allele, on this sample, can I
Yes, there
see
is
a
information on that.
lot of information?
Yes, there is information on that electrophoreograph.
In fact, there's information every.
Across the size.
Now, I want to suggest to you earlier contamination event. But there's a lot of information on the sample.
There is.
And on the face of it, it can appear as a that.
No, it's not that.
No,
No, it's not.
we
Then on the face of it.
will need the things you're needing.
No, D3 has no information at all.
Just go to. You're saying that D3 has no information. D3 is the first box.
Yes.
You mean that on the first box there is nothing?
There is information on D6.
This is your information. You see? Then the other one
That's information we don't see it. This is only one who can see them. Starts from Y in there.
No, you are on the same line, my lord. From D3 you go to VWA.
Yeah, that line of D3 is one line. We're on the line of Y in there. That's all the there's information on all. Correct?
Yes, there is information on all.
And on it starts D2.
Yes, D2 for the loci is on that line. Has
Information on all.
Yes.
Page to page 51. Okay. Now, I want you to go to page 65. 65.
Specimen number.
682 S009. We looked at this yesterday. This is our
Also return. TW8.
This is page 65 of Exhibit D5.
Uh-huh. This is the return.
Page 65, my lord.
I was in 16, right?
23S009. S029. Sorry. This is one of the sticks. Just confirm. Again. We have an avalanche.
DNA profile.
Confirm that they are
Partial mixed DNA profile.
So just confirm that there's a lot of information. That's my question. When I look here, I'll suggest to you that
No, my lord.
66, the next page. Page 66, page 66 is 6H2Y 2330. 6H2Y 23 S0 C. Just confirm that there is a lot of information on this. Yeah, it's correct.
There is information for D3, VW.
Well, these are in boxes, eh? Don't read first 25 minutes.
D3,
Would I be correct to say there's a lot of information in this sample?
there is partial information on a couple of those sides.
But there's a row.
There is information on the white index and also on the availability.
You just close that point in contamination. Mr. Mobido, I want to suggest to you that you have a very contaminated lab.
I disagree, my lord.
Now, you can confirm. This is now my last question on the negative that negative control was at page. It was run on the entire batch of samples from page 7 up to page 52.
Yes, my lord, each batch has got a negative control. That's the negative control for that batch.
For that batch. From page 7 up to page 52. And you can confirm that those samples include the test you did on the trigger and trigger house.
Those are all the specimens in that batch, as indicated.
They include that.
Yes, it includes, I think it's referring to specimens.
It's tests which were done on the trigger and the trigger house.
682Y23 S019.
You can confirm that batch includes tests done on the magazine.
Yes, my lord.
You can confirm that batch includes tests done on Mole Katanga.
Yes, that's the same batch.
The control sample.
Yes, the batches, control samples in that batch as well.
In your understanding, is it irregular to run the control sample in the same batch with these other samples?
It's not regular if you're doing electrophoresis.
But otherwise it's irregular.
When we do PCR, we do them separately.
Otherwise it's irregular.
For electrophoresis, it's not irregular.
But otherwise it's irregular. Please answer.
For PCR, it would be regular.
Thank
For
you.
electrophoresis, it's not.
Thank you. To recruit, to run the test sample of Mole Katanga to get irregular.
Irregular.
Yes.
Right. This is down. Mole Katanga and
And together with the barrel, the gun, all those samples, the magazine, with the control sample and the test samples together.
those are two different things. The barrel, the what?
My lord, I think the general point is the test sample.
ekintu ky'omumaisho nazo ariyo nagamba hashagamu ebihiro Henry Katanga okubagira testing
So
mu
in other
laboratory.
words, run the test together with
It is only regular for PCR, it's not regular for electrophoresis.
run the test with the what?
Mole Katanga.
No, it's not irregular for electrophoresis, but for PCR, it is irregular. And we run these samples, the reference samples and test samples are run separately for amplification.
It is irregular for regular. Yeah, so electrophoresis. Yeah, it is irregular in other words. Anymore?
bagamba hashagamu ebihiro Henry Katanga okuba testing mu laboratory nebibakishangiremu kansokana nagira ngu egyo shagama ekeri mixed n'endijo shagama ubwo bwara tesipayinga yacakanza nga mpete teri mixed ya bagamba nashagama ebibiha hankoni nayo yamgira ngu ketari y'abantu babiri bakurenga mu babiri nawe yamgira ngu kirugiro okuba ku bano bakoraho mu laboratory bano bihawe endijo bakasigaho egyo bashaka.
Much obliged. For any contamination that happened to these samples before they came to the lab, correct?
And the samples are handled by the team, so I cannot account for that.
Yeah.
However,
Now, I want us now to go to the issue of we're in the issue of mixed samples. I want us now to go to the issue of major and minor profile. And you determine that be correct? There is more than one contributor to a DNA sample.
Yeah.
And of all those contributors, which one is major and which one is minor?
cross-reference with the reference specimen. Determine
Just
which-
answer my question.
Yes, you compare with the
Thank
reference
you.
specimen.
And you agree that
DNA is DNA, my lord. However,
so just answer my question.
And
You cannot separate, like for example, if it was DNA in a cell, there's protein, there's fat, you can separate DNA from the rest, correct? So you call isolation.
you are able to look at DNA at the 25 locations we have talked about, my lord, and be able.
And it's possible that interpretation
Follows a subjective arrangement which are defined by peer review.
Follow the subject.
yesterday you said, and I want to confirm if I'm correct, that you calculate a measure and using what you called a quantitative or qualitative method.
Quantitative.
To calculate the major and minor profile. And would I be correct to say that you use a software called Euro 4 Mix?
Yes, that is correct.
So just spell it for us.
EURO FORMIX.
Euro 4 Mix. Euro then 4 FOR. But no, the spelling can actually be found at page Roman numeral 1 of the DNA report. Mix is MIX. Roman numeral 2, page Roman numeral 2, under the title terminologies. Yes, MIX. FOR and then a capital M, correct? Euro capital E, then 4 FOR, then mix, a capital M.
Euro.
4 mix. FOR, capital MIX, capital M. And it's at page, it is at Roman numeral 2, or terminology number 6. Can you confirm to this course that Euroformix is an open source software?
Yes, it's an open source software.
Can you confirm to this course that that means it is free of charge?
Yes, it is an open source
Thank you.
and we access it free of charge.
Can you confirm that that means you download it free of charge from the internet?
We get it from registered GitHub.
He gets it from GitHub, which is capital GIT, then capital HUB. Then, which is a website. GitHub.
It's a repository for software.
GitHub. Yes, capital GIT, then capital HUB.
GitHub, yes.
Which is a repository for softwares that you can find at github.com.
Yes, an open source.
Thank you.
repository.
So it is GitHub.com.
So if I go to that website, I can also download it.
Yes, you can.
Can you confirm can you confirm that you provide some Eurocomics results in this report?
Yes, there are some results in there.
So can you show us one?
You have, I believe.
Would I be correct to say that they are an extra 4 of the report?
Yes.
the main DNA report. I don't have the last page of the report. Just at the end of the report. Will that be a reforming scorecard?
You can read from me the title.
This is generated report from Euroformings.
Yes.
So maybe if you go to the DNA report, just to the end, there are these things that are looking like computer numbers. So, yes. So yes, that. Not the last page, just. I think what sample is that? Second last page? Yeah. So that would be sample. This is a generated version from Euroformings. This sample, the 6H2Y23S022. So it says this is a generated report from Euroformings. Has some information there, dates, times. I don't know if you're there. Just that beginning information on the Euroformings. It starts, the first sentence would be, this is a generated report from. So it will be the second last page, I believe, of the report. Now, you see why it says this is a generated report from Euroformings?
Yes, this is a generated report.
From Euroformings.
Yes, this is one of the tools that.
That's all my question is coming. Version.
Yes, this is Euroformix version 3.2.
0.0.
Yes.
3.2.0. And if I go on the internet, I can get that Euroformix version.
Yes, you can get version 3.0.2. You can also get
That's
version.
what I can also do, I can also ask. So, would I be correct to say that that version was released on the 17th of February 2021?
Yeah, that's the indication on that. The R version is for 31st of March.
Not the R version. Are they different?
No, one runs inside the other.
One runs inside the other. So, let's start with the first one. The first, you have two things there. You have
Yes.
Euroformix and you have R version.
This is version 3.2.0.
So version 3.2.0. Would I be correct to say it was released on the 17th of February 2021?
I will need to confirm that. I don't have that information.
But that's roughly the time. It's about 17th February 2021. But he says it's around that time. Would I be correct to say it's around that time?
Yes, it's around that time.
So it's outdated,
And there is version 4.0.7.
which you didn't use.
I use it. I have it in my business.
No. That report you have there,
Yes, it's the
it is
report
version what?
3.2.0.
Is version 3.2.0 outdated?
There is version 4.0.7.
So the answer is yes. There's a more up-to-date version.
There is an updated version 4.0.7.
Okay. And what you have on the report?
Is version 3.2.7.
Version 3.2.7. The version you have in the report is what?
3.2.0.
3.2.0.
And then the updated version 4.0.7. Things that.
Are you aware that actually the latest version is 4.0.9?
The one I have been using, the latest is 4.0.7.
No, the one you've been using is 3.
The one in the
Okay.
report is 3.2.0,
So it is your evidence that you have been using version
3.2.0.
3.2.0 in the report.
Yes.
And you have said that the one you prefer to use is 4.0.7.
That's the current one we are using.
The current, what is that version?
4.0.7.
And it wasn't used in this case.
I used it for my
Hold on.
documents.
I using is 4.0.
0.7. And it was not used in this case.
I used it for,
Show it to us in the report.
You used it for what?
I have it in my case notes.
But we don't have it in the
What did
report.
you use it for? Let's say, record that.
I use it for my high level decision making.
My high level,
National security confidential.
high level decision making.
So no high level decision making.
Is it on your report?
It is not in the report, but I,
Hey, did you use it?
yes, I did use it in this case. Yes,
And is it in your report?
in the report.
And it's among the things you refuse to give us.
I have a report here which I generated using Euroformix.
No, answer my questions.
No, it's not among them.
Did we ask you for software?
We
The
told you
software
about it,
that you used.
but it's in the report. The software is called Euroformix. It's in the report.
3.2.0.
That's the one that is in the report.
So the one you use, that's the one we're
The
dealing
one I'm using is 4.0.7.
So do we have a fake report?
No.
So let's work together. You use version 3.2.0 for the purposes of this report, correct?
Yeah, that was one which generated the data.
Let me just get that. Version 3.2.0 is what was used for this report.
Version
3.2.0.
It was used to generate the data
It was used for this report.
and also attached to the report.
Okay.
generated the
Data, and it is the one which is attached to the report. Okay, so I have gone to that website called github.com so that I can also have access. I just wanted to confirm it. And I've gone to the history page to see all the versions
Yeah.
and all the comments. So if I give it to you, you'll be able to identify it and confirm this is what is on the website.
I have not looked at the website recently, so I cannot confirm.
But that one is there.
I have,
All of those are both there. They are both there.
no, but I have to look at the website and bring them to you myself.
Can you check? Do you have internet?
And my lord, if you allow me to access the device, I can check.
You check.
you want to check?
We can use this.
You can offer it to me, you are not offering it.
I'll be very proud of it. Maybe.
Okay.
So
What is that document?
this document is. Can you tell us what the document is?
It here says the repository for Europhonics. I can see a version, I think this is the publisher. The publisher,
Now it is you to tell me what is
Yes. It says it's the repository for Euroformix.
yes. And here they have issues of each of the version releases.
This is repository for
It is,
For Euroformix.
it's more of an issues paper that every version they release, they give issues around it.
So every version they release, So would I be correct to say that every version they release gives issues? Would I be correct to say that it gives issues?
I can see they are pointing them out here.
They bring a new version, correct mistakes in an old version,
Now to fix bugs.
to fix bugs and problems. Okay, just slow down. So we're doing use version 4.0.4.
Currently, the one which is in the report, my lord,
No, you said use 3.
is on the 17th of February 2021.
Yes.
It was released on 17th? February 2021. Ask questions.
ekiyalihireho okutanga DNA eyiyalihireho kugira ngu egishagamaneye ogu yambuuza akagikora ata yambwira ngu bakakozesa ekyoma ekibakweta Euroformax. Ekyo ekyoma kiine periods ekikuba Euroformix, yes. Ekyo ekyoma kiine kuba updated konka bwe akakozesa ekyoma ekiine version eye2021 ye tukansipara ngambira ngu hariho kiine version eye2023 ekiri 0.40.
Version is outdated.
Okay, kiine updated versions konka obwo byagira ngu akakozesa ebintu bibiri ebyoma bibiri akakozesa ekiine 4.07 and 3.20 konka report eyaletera mu kooti akakozesa version 3.20 ejeje ya 4.07.7
That's a very good transition.
Issue with that document. One is we don't know where that document came from, the authenticity of that document, and the witness is not there. So asking him questions about a document that is not authored by him is wrong procedure. Because a lot of software.
The software is organic. Let him move.
You can confirm that if you go to page 2 of that document,
Take the of what?
of page 2, what's the document called, you said?
Euroform.
This
This
is
is the repository.
so this is a news from, it's a news, basically they're giving news about the software.
News. From who? Who is giving the news?
The news is from the developer, Oilco,
Thank you.
and this, the last update he had is 4 months ago.
Hold on.
Okay.
No, but we should put it. That is why is
Oilco, O-Y-V-B-L,
why
O-Y-V-B-L-E,
you were saying again. Oh,
O-Y-V-V-L.
V-B-L-E, V-B-L-E,
or you will.
yes, Oilco.
Or you will. O-Y-V-E-L-E.
Yes. And you are saying that he's giving updates, and the last update he gave it when?
My lord, actually this should be the person who manages this repository.
It is called
It is a repository of your
repository.
source. So the update is given by the person who manages the repository, correct?
Yes, so you're giving news.
And you are told this court that the last update was when?
According to this, the last release, not update, because it is very specific, my
The
lord.
person who manages the repository.
The repository,
Thank you. Let's Mr. Muri, just hold on.
Okay, now what you do?
Yes.
You don't this. You want it a few refinements.
Yes, my lord. Much obliged, much obliged. Thank you for the guidance, my lord. So you can confirm that the latest release was?
the latest release is dated 24th May 2024, version 4.0.9.
It is dated 24th May.
May 2024,
And what version is it?
version 4.0.9.
And before that one, there was another release? 4.0.9.
Yes. It's another release
Another release which is,
4.0.8.
just hold on. Before that, there was a release 4.0.8. Can you confirm the date when 4.0.8 was released?
Yes, the release date is 21st August 2023.
So that is before 1st of August 2023, correct?
Yes, that's 21st August 2023.
And that version was released before the incident, before this court took place. Would that be correct to say?
We did analysis starting from the 4th of November 2023.
So I am correct to say from the 4th of November 2023.
So, how will you answer that?
So the answer is that by the time
Yes, the release date was 21st August 2023.
free software and you elect an outdated, expired software.
Yes, my lord. My lord, I'd like to confirm that it's not expired because it's not even in the document. There is no expired for these releases. It says release.
We use an out.
Use an earlier release.
Page version 4.0.4.
Yes. Mine is 4.0.7.
Or yours is earlier.
I use 4.0.7, which I have in my notes.
Okay. So now 3.
Yeah, my lord. Here 2023
So you used it?
on this document.
You used what is that?
My lord is asking
And after that, there was a
earlier.
no, maybe.
My lord, version 4.0.7 was.
But now you're saying that you 4.0.4
Was
was released
4.0
after. Was it after?
Earlier.
4.0.4 was released.
Again.
Yes, thank you for the clarification. Earlier than 4.0.7.
Yes.
And what you use,
You used
What is-
0.7.
he uses 0.7.
4.0.7.
In your notes, when you say you use 4.0.7, let's clarify.
In
that
the notes.
it's in the notes, it's not before court,
It's in the notes.
but not in court.
It's not in court.
Okay, ekintu ky'omumisho bariyo nibagamba kyoma ekyakozesibwe akashobire okukozesa ekyoma ekine up-to-date software tikumanya ku software omunyango.
We shall clarify for him.
You should begin separation.
Okay,
We shall clarify for him. I'll clarify for him. So in the report you used 3.2.0.
Yes, my lord, that is what is in the report.
Now, look at version 4.0.4 and tell court what issues were found with the previous software.
So,
My lord, I am objecting to that question.
I think when the witness is answering the question and giving information to court, it is
It is
only fair
wrong.
that he be allowed.
For a witness who has come here as a DNA expert to be given a document by a software manager from anywhere and then you expect him to answer questions. That is wrong. No, it's not an issue of cooperation. It is an issue of doing things the right way.
Anyway,
My lord, if I may respond, this witness has testified
No.
that he got software. We're not asking for software engineering. He has testified that he downloaded free software from GitHub. Correctly, the document he has received. He has identified correctly the versions. Now, I can understand prosecution that they were using outdated software, but that shouldn't be our problem.
My Lord, can I guide?
That shouldn't be our
My
primary
Lord,
goal.
I seek to guide. My Lord, this is news from the repository. What we rely upon when we use the software, we use peer-reviewed papers.
Okay, so this is news from the repository.
Yes.
So let's deal with the news from the repository. Thank you. What new witness has identified? My Lord, I am objecting. My Lord, I want to object to this business of interrupting our cross-examination.
You can't let him say so. And
News.
because now, this one, he has not expressed it. Yes. Why I'm asking about whether he's comfortable?
Yes. Now, what?
My Lord, the issues raised in this news,
What? Give us the issues.
I am uncomfortable reading them because I'm not an expert.
Okay, let me read them for you. The issues raised are:
Thank you.
an issue was found when evaluating the relationship of a clear major and minor profile. Is that correct?
Evaluating the relationship of the major, of a clear major minor profile. Thanks to Damir Tesanov for highlighting this.
So the issue, this is an issue with the software you claim you use in your notes. Is that correct?
I use 4.0.7.
Yes, so 4.0.9 was released to correct the mistakes of 4.0.7.
No. You are reading from 4.0.4.
Okay, so the issue, give us the issue.
This is an issue of version 4.0.4 in their new, which they fixed.
And that is a later software than what you're using.
I'm using 4.0.7 right now.
Which in this report.
The report has 3.2.0.
So the later software, the report has 3.2.0.
Yes.
So the later software 3.2.0. And software after that was found to have an issue evaluating the major and minor profiles.
Major of a clear major minor profile.
It was,
Of the major of a clear.
there was an issue of
There was an issue found relationship of the major of a clear major.
implementing
Yes.
the
The relationship of the major. The relationship of the major of a clear major stroke minor profile.
major minor profile.
Thank you. So I would be correct to say that the purpose of the software is to keep improving it.
That's why I released the new updates are released even on your phone.
Thank you, thank you.
Increase
Thank you. The purpose is to keep improving it
for functionality.
for functionality. And you used one that is okay.
We use release 3.0, 3.2.0 in the report, and I use 4.0.
No. You can only deal. You see, Mr. Mirot, you've not given us what you had to work with. I want to move from that issue, my God. Now,
My Lord, I request to give counsel back his news.
yeah, my Lord, I think as Director of Forensic Science, he may need it more. He needs to be updated.
Thank you very much. I request that he offers this to me permanently.
I have made it. Please read so that you don't make these mistakes in future.
Thank you, counsel.
That is between you. Yeah.
Tomorrow, I don't know where they stopped. Just,
Now, the purpose of the software is to keep improving it for functionality.
Thank you. Now, I want to go to another issue. But still to do with the software. Would I be correct to say that once you download this software, it has to be made compatible with the systems in your lab?
The version we use is compatible.
It has to be made compatible. That's my question. It has to be made compatible.
Is that so?
It sits on a Windows version and runs inside another package called R.
So my question is, it has to be compatible.
It has to be compatible with the Windows version and the R package that you're running.
Thank you. Would I be
With the Windows
Version
Windows, my Lord, Windows?
Windows
version.
version
Windows version.
and the R
And the R
package.
version.
And the R package.
R is a capital R, my Lord.
The other package.
Now, would I also be correct to say that under ISO accreditation, you cannot use this software until you have validated it?
We have our validations that run including
No.
official
Just
certificates.
answer my question. Would I be correct to say?
We have run our validations.
No. Answer my question.
Can you use
Would
it?
I be correct to say that under ISO, you will not be allowed to use this software unless you have validated it?
The best practice under ISO is to validate the software.
Thank you.
The best practice. Under ISO. So, validate the software before.
You can use it.
Is that so?
I validate it before, during, and after.
Yeah, but before,
Even before.
well, before.
Okay, it is the best practice. Right.
Is it a requirement?
It's not a requirement, it's a best practice.
And this best practice from ISO, are you governed by ISO guidelines?
We have a quality manual that is benchmarked against ISO guidelines.
So, your quality manual which you get from us that's benchmarked against ISO guidelines, will it require validation?
The ISO guidelines give it as a best practice.
It is the best practice, do it.
To validate the
Validation.
software?
It's not you say that.
Yes, he said it. My Lord, you can continue. Will you confirm that to do that validation, one of the things you do is called an internal validation study?
We do an internal and external.
Yes or no? Do you do an internal validation study?
We do an internal and external validation study on the probabilistic genotype software that we use.
Validation study on what?
On the probabilistic genotype software.
On the
On the probabilistic genotype software.
spelling.
Probabilistic.
Probabilistic.
Probability.
Probabilistic.
Probabilistic. Okay.
Genotype software.
So, would I be correct to say that before this court, you have not provided us with an internal validation study allowing you to use the software?
The internal validation was not provided, but
Thank you. Would
but
I
we do have also an
Of
external
course, of course,
validation.
of course.
the court, yes. Would I be correct to say that Malami friend Mr. Kabatsi specifically asked you
That was the request I received from the DPP, and I'm sorry, cannot provide the internal validation. Internal validation.
But it was.
you don't provide it?
Validation.
Your lab is internal.
Yes, the lab participates in global proficiency test. Participates in global proficiency testing programs. Proficiency testing.
My last question on Euroformics, my lord.
Yeah, I've never had a health condition from using it.
Thank you. Thank you. Do you realize that in this case you're not using it at your risk?
I use the software and I get my opinion based on the data that I get from the software. It is peer reviewed and there are papers to indicate the peer review.
Okay.
What is this version?
This is the website of Euroformics. I want to give.
Thank you very much, Council. Not that I don't have internet, but I can use an extra read.
My lord, I want to now go to another issue. That you swabbed for DNA on the trigger and trigger house of Exhibit 4, which was the
Okay.
you swabbed for DNA on the gun, on the trigger. Would I be correct to say that after you swabbed,
I'm sure you swabbed.
you said yes. You
took
said
it.
swab.
You
You
said
said
that
that.
was examined.
No, it's swabbed
There was a swab taken from the trigger and the trigger house.
by you.
Yes.
And am I correct to say that after you took the swab from the trigger and trigger house, as you said in your methodology, you cut off a small piece of the swab stick and marked it 68232YS0019.
We took one swab and put it into the envelope. So from its stem and used it.
So, look at.
And used the whole swab analysis.
Can you say what you want us to write?
I took the trigger and the trigger house, got the cotton of the swab off its stem,
You saw them. You took a
and
swab.
used it for
We're recording.
Yeah.
You got a cotton bag.
not a cotton bag,
You got a cotton swab.
but a swab
Uh-huh.
He swabbed the trigger
and the yes,
for DNA testing.
not in the machine. We used it
Whatever
for
it
the
is.
downstream process. So my
What
lord,
do you do exactly?
you get a and you have a target area, you get your nucleic-free swabs.
No, what did you do for the trigger?
I get it, you remove it because it has a stem. So you remove it from the stem into the extraction container,
Uh-huh.
So
and
you,
then proceeded with downstream processing.
so you used the entire swab.
Yes, the swab that I took, I used it.
Okay. I think that answers it.
Yes, so it is fair to say that
4-3, which was not examined.
no, the one you examined.
The one I examined was the one I took myself.
So it's fair to say that for the one you examined, there is no evidence before this court of that swab stick.
Those were collected by other people. Every swab that I take myself.
Yes,
So what happened to this one?
This is the swab that I use. It's free. It's in my lab. I take it, swab the trigger and trigger house, cut it in the envelope, and I proceed. So I put the exhibit aside and I proceed with the analysis.
My lord,
That were taken.
You mean this one was not presented?
this one was not presented. This one does not exist.
We take the swab. We consume it. The primary exhibit is there, the file.
So at the moment, it does not exist.
It's consumed in the lab, as I pointed
So
out.
what was consumed in the lab?
The swab for the trigger and trigger house. And it's not before this court.
Okay. In what?
During the analysis. I swab the trigger and trigger house and I
Apart
examine
from
it.
your claim, there is no trigger ever swab. Apart from your claim.
My lord,
No, that one you didn't examine. We're talking about the swab. Can you?
proceeded.
Okay. This one. This one. What do you? Did you avoid other swabs?
Which were presented because the single crime officer takes them in duplicate. So you consume one and have it.
Before this court, there is no evidence apart from your word. House.
My lord, I can confirm that I swabbed the trigger and
Yeah, you said that. Now, Oh, it was not exhibited in court.
No, it was not exhibited in court.
Well, the trigger. The trigger was it one or two?
It was 112. Yes, because we have cut off the bud and we dispose it off in the biohazard bin.
You disposed of
Yes.
it.
Man was taken for other testing, which like ballistics, which thereby permanently removed any DNA on it.
Okay, I remember you saying. After that, the gun was taken.
Another lab, and
The
then
DNA, that one is a difficult
for
thing.
further activities.
It was submitted to the ballistic laboratory for further examination.
That is
By
the
the
gun.
forensic gateway, yes. It was sent to the forensic gateway for purposes of submitting to the ballistic.
Forensic laboratory.
And this was done when?
For what?
On air, you said for forensic analysis.
Is that so?
For ballistic analysis. Did you say ballistic or forensic?
For ballistic examination.
For ballistic examination. Excuse me, madam.
Yeah, it's something ballistic. Anything else?
So do you know what it means to destroy evidence?
That's no destruction of evidence.
Yeah, that's not destruction.
Okay, I want to now move to the DNA results on the trigger and trigger house. Lord, would we, my Lord, seeing that it's a new area and it's lunchtime, I don't know if it is better to break for lunch.
Which one?
Yes, my Lord.
What do you say? What is it? Please. Remember, we'll come back. When coming back, we should. Actually, you are not proceeding with yours. No, somebody. And when you come back, we might have just about an hour. Okay, so please. Maybe, that's what I don't know why. Otherwise,